folks, you know it is hot stove season time when everybody is trying to figure out how do you improve your favorite team. And of course, there is a lot of improvement to be done on the New York Yankees. We do know next week Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman are going to speak. But I'll be honest with you, even though we're always going to be interested to hear what they got to say, at this point, it is all about the shmoneys and the actions that the New York Yankees make going into 2024 that is going to entice the fans to really get behind this ball club. Because let's be honest, when Aaron Boone a couple of years back said, hey, the league is catching up to us, well, look, the division has caught up and surpassed. And there's many teams out there now that have a better foundation at the moment, quote-unquote multiple player foundation, than the Yankees. I say that because I still believe the Yankees have a great foundation. When you got one of the best pitchers in baseball, one of the best offensive talents in baseball, and it's not even close, top three, some would even argue maybe top two in Cole and Judge, you got a very strong foundation. You just need a good leadership, a group behind it to push that. But with that being said, guys, there's a lot of rumors out there, right? We all know Juan Soto on the trade market is going to ignite a fire on the many, many clubs that want to pursue him and get him. We know that San Diego has not been too classy, hey there. They haven't been too classy there, Ron Burgundy, have they?
I'm Ron Burgundy. You stay classy, San Diego.
They should indeed try to stay classy, but no, I'm not going to beat up on San Diego too much. I'm joking around with you Padres fans, but apparently they borrowed $50 million. My understanding was they actually wanted more. Major League Baseball said, hold on a second there. No, not going to happen. So yes, the rumor is out there that they got to get rid of salary. They got to move on from salary and try to figure out what do they do going forward. We know they got a shit ton of contracts out there. We know Juan Soto is going to get paid roughly, maybe $30 million, if not a little more than that this year. They're probably going to have to move Juan Soto if you really want to make the most sense of it. But there are some other guys out there that they can definitely trade. One of those guys on the market side for Yankee fans having this conversation, I've seen his name pop up time and time again. I've gotten DMs about him. Would it make sense? So I said, you know what? This is actually the fun things about the offseason is to have conversations on why it could make sense. Maybe you don't do it. Maybe you do. What does it look like? The one thing I don't usually get into, guys, is what players go where, because that's tough to figure out. And that one website that everybody goes on and they love using it, I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest. It is what it is. But do the Yankees have to add Jake to get Juan? Basically, I should say not add, take on Jake to add Juan, because that's basically what it would be. And of course, I'm talking about Jake Cronenworth of the San Diego Padres. Cronenworth is signed through 2030. Basically got an Aaron Hicks deal, 7 years, $80 million. Of course, Hicks got $770. 7 years, $80 million. He's a guy last year, again, had a 1 WAR, didn't have great numbers, 229 average, 10 homers, and 458 at-bats. You know, there's obviously a couple of things to highlight. He plays first base. He plays second base. Actually has played shortstop quite a bit also. But you look at the numbers, he's gone downhill a bit. 285 averages first year, 172 ABs, 266, 239, 229. On-base percentages, 354, 340, 332, 312. Slugging, 477, 460, 390, 378. So you see it continue to drop. Look at that OPS. 831, 800, 722, 689. OPS pluses were very, very good those first 2 years. They were phenomenal. Even in year 3, 109, not horrible. Then down to 92. But there are, like everybody, right? There's pros, there's cons. They're all things of that nature. A lot of these numbers here don't look cute, right? There's things to be concerned about. Couple of good things, though, about Jake before we go any further is he doesn't strike out. He's not some big strikeout guy. I don't think he's ever struck out more than 20 times in a year. Excuse me, not 20%, over 20% in a season. So last year, 18.6, and again, that was in quite a few at-bats. 19.2 in 2022, and then 14, which was the top 10% of the league in 2021. Now, I know, right? There's going to be a lot of people that go, Pete, what is the problem here? What is the issue? And guys, I bring this up a lot. And again, look, I get it. There's going to be people that disagree with this, and that is okay. You are allowed to disagree with me. I think Jake Cronenworth was a better player his first 2 years because he was who he was. And there's something that kind of leads me into where Major League Baseball has been going over the last couple of years, which is launch angle. Try to increase that launch angle so you pop more home runs. But again, that is not for everybody. There's a lot of people who don't understand that. Derek Jeter has talked about this. A-Rod, Poppy, these guys have all talked about this. That certain guys, yeah, you got to look at individual. How do you improve? How do you add more pop? What do we do? But there's certain guys, it's just not their game and their style. And the only reason why I say this is launch angle was 10.6 in 2020, which was his best year, one of his best years. Second year, 12.5 was another one of his years. Then the biggest dip started happening, and his launch angle increased to 18.2 and then 15.2 this year. So up from his previous years. And a lot of times what happens, launch angle goes up, batting average comes down. Yeah, you might see more homers, but with Jake Cronenworth, you haven't really seen more home runs. There's been a lot of different things where he has struggled with. Hits pretty well against the fastball, breaking ball, not so great. Off-speed pitches also does pretty well. So, what are the things we're looking at here? If you look at him at Yankee Stadium, let's take a look here. He'd have a couple of more homers. First couple of years, he would add a lot more homers. 30 homers in 2021, potentially at Yankee Stadium, 2022 and 2022. And then in 2023, 12, one more than he had in San Diego. The other thing about Jake that I've actually asked some Padres fans about, I've seen them talk about it, is they feel that the Padres have not used him the right way. They don't believe he's a first baseman. Not that he is terrible there, but one Padres fan told me just a few years ago, I'm not sure what year it was, he was top 10 in WAR as a second baseman, and he really looked good at that position and looked comfortable there. First base, not so much. And now when you start thinking about this from a Yankee perspective, we all know how Juan Soto fits the New York Yankees. We all completely understand how Juan Soto fits the Yankees. They need him desperately. Here's what I would say about Cronenworth. I would not add him in a deal if the intention is to leave him as a first baseman and move on from Rizzo. Here's what I would do. I would decide, is he a better bet than a DJ LeMahieu in that type of role? Now, I know LeMahieu could potentially be the Yankees starting third baseman. Hell, he can also be that starting first baseman potentially if things go wrong. So it's somewhat of a risk. Can the Yankees fit Peraza at third base, Volpe at short, figure out what's going to happen again with Gleyber Torres? Again, is there other offers and trades out there for infielders, first basemen, third basemen? Is Candelario a guy the Yankees go after? There's a lot of questions here, but I'm just sticking to this right now, how the Yankees would have to decide this. Is his $12 million worth moving DJ LeMahieu? Because look, folks, at the end of the day, the Yankees can trade DJ LeMahieu. This is a guy, it's a veteran, very, very well liked around baseball, still plays multiple positions defensively very, very well. And he's only getting paid, $14, $15 million a year. The Yankees could definitely move. Even if they got to pay some of that contract a bit, they can certainly move him or add a prospect to it and get somebody to cover that whole thing. I believe that. There's not a lot of great free agents on the offensive side. I think DJ LeMahieu could be somebody a lot of teams would be interested in, maybe so, even Anthony Rizzo. But what do you do with Cronenworth? Where is he? Where does he play? Is that his best position of a guy that could cover at first base, third base, second base every now and then? Do you take a risk and go, you know what? This kid doesn't strike out. He's a lefty. There's a lot more impact in that bat. We think if we just leave him at second base, he will grow into a very solid player. And then that leaves you with Gleyber Torres. What do you do there? But this is a good thing to have. And I want to discuss this for a second. This is indeed a good thing to have for the New York Yankees. This is their advantage. The New York Yankees can tell the Padres, yeah, okay, we'll do that. But, of course, the cost is going to be a little less of what you get back. We don't mind adding, two pretty good guys, really good talents. I'm talking about maybe a Spencer Jones and a pitching prospect and a couple of others. We'll take him back, no problem. That is the advantage of the New York Yankees. We've seen it done many times. Stanton, even though that was a, trade blocking thing by him because he was supposed to go to, I believe it was the Giants originally. He rejected the trade, or St. Louis, one of those teams. But Bobby Abreu, this is the advantage of the New York Yankees, where they can simply just say, we'll take on that contract, but that lowers, that cost, and we'll take these guys back, whatever. However they figure that mess out, that is an advantage for the Yankees. But they also then need to sit back and go, how do we become creative to change this offense, but do not damage it a lot? Is Anthony Rizzo, are you okay with Rizzo? Is he really healthy? Is he the way to go? Are there trade scenarios? Are there real legitimate possibilities of teams going, hey, we want Rizzo, we'll make a deal with you? Can you trade Gleyber Torres for a good amount that you're going, even though this guy was very good last year? We know we can save that $15 million we're going to have to give him this year and a contract extension that maybe we aren't going to give him. Do we move him now for maybe a good starting pitcher, maybe a couple of good prospects, relief pitcher and a starter? I don't know. I, again, am throwing stuff at the wall here on how the Yankees can become creative. DJ LeMahieu, I've already said it. I seriously believe you could trade him. And you got Peraza and Anthony Volpe still in that infield. What are their positions? Where do they stay? What do they do? What does that look like going forward? What is the balance now of that lineup? Is the lefty-righty switch balance very important to these Yankees? It should be. It should be very important. Are they going to kind of, do the pros and cons and go, look, we need lefties in there. Soto's one, we need more. Wells is one. Dominguez is switch when he gets back. Maybe Cronenworth in the infield makes sense. But again, you also got the Cardinals out there who need starting pitching. Gorman, Donovan, lefty batters, Candelario. I believe he's a switch hitter, I want to say. He is a switch hitter, so you got another guy out there like that. Had a very, very solid year. Hits the ball all over the place. Really a spray hitter. Now you're thinking about, what does your offense look like? We got power. We've added on-base percentage. We've added balance. We've added speed. We've added all that. Now you can start going, we're a different offensive club. Maybe we added Yamamoto. Now we're really talking. Maybe we added a pen piece. Now we're really talking. Fact of the matter is, that is an advantage for the New York Yankees, but they still have to make it work elsewhere. They still have to move some other salary, and they have the opportunity to do it. Question becomes, can Brian Cashman be that creative to make those type of moves while still building a very strong roster with a very, very different mentality? You guys need to let me know in the comments below. Would you take on Jake to add Soto? Would you do that? We are closing in on 19,850 subs. We're a few, 16 away. But guys, again, of course, we are closing in on 20,000, which is such a great milestone on YouTube, guys. And we just thank you so much for helping us get there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about taking on Jake Cronenworth? Everybody's talking about it. Hey, let's get the community here talking about it. Let me know in the comments below, guys. And of course, if there is any video out, any news, any rumor that's ready to drop, ready to be discussed, you know for a fact it'll be right here on NYY Underground. Subscribe today and join the movement. Peace out, folks. Talk to you.
Can't make a promise, but I do my best. 25 sitting on 25 racks. Just got started, no, we ain't done yet. Bought a new crib, that's a goddamn flex. Sign that check. Told them last year that I've been up next. Can't take calls, but I send that text from way downtown, but